guys, welcome back, and for those watching some new subbies, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be making, or I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my chiles rellenos. Now there are tons of different ways to make them. Sometimes when I have family over, I make them with using mozzarella cheese and shrimp. But today we're just going to make them very plain. I'm going to be making it with, stuffing them with queso fresco. It's one of my favorite cheese, and it tastes so delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera, and let's get started. I'm going to be needing chile pasilla, and you're going to go ahead. I already washed these, and they're dried. So we're going to go ahead and place them either in a pan, or on top of a pan, or on a comal if you have one. And you're going to let it toast. Once it's done toasting, you're going to go ahead and put it in a Ziploc bag. And that's so the skin softens a little and it's easier to peel. The steam in there keeps them nice and moist. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let that toast a little bit, and I'll show you guys how it should look, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to check the back side of it. And it's still, this one's still not done. We want this, or this part to look, or most of this to look exactly like this. Very nice and toasty. This one still needs a little bit more, so we're going to flip it to where the top part, so they're still not done. We're going to leave it there for a little bit longer, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to check them again, and that's exactly how we want it, so we're going to switch it off to the other, or flip it around to the other side. This one needs a little bit more, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and flip it. And this one is good, so we're going to flip them onto a different side. We're going to let that toast, and we're going to be doing that throughout the entire, for all sides. And then we'll be right back. Alright, so we have like a little bit more on some sides for them to toast. And yes, I do wash my hands, just so you know. I think that one's good, actually. Let me flip this one, see what side it needs to be. I think this one's good. I need a little bit on this side, but I can't get that dip part in, or that dipped little section to toast. Okay, we're going to go ahead and place that in the Ziploc bag. Let me see if I can open it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab it just from the comal or from the pan, whatever you're using. And we're going to go ahead and dip it in there, or just place it in the bag. And we're going to go ahead and seal it. We are going to leave it in here for a little bit. Maybe for like 30 minutes. Or until I'm ready to make them. I usually toast them early in the morning. And I don't start cooking, actually cooking until later on. And those are ready to go as well. So we're going to place those in the bag as well. Usually, I forgot, too late now. I usually take the seeds out before I place them on the comal. That way it's a lot easier, because when you're trying to open it when they're warm, it's a little bit more difficult. So we're going to go ahead and seal it. Okay, and we'll be right back when they're ready to be peeled, and I guess de-seeded, because I didn't do that in the beginning, and like I said, it's a lot easier to do it when they're stiff. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and set that aside, and we'll be right back. Okay, so once you've toasted the pasilla peppers, we're going to add some oil to a pan, and we're going to be warming up the oil, or heating up the pan. Okay, and then while that's heating up, we're going to be cutting up some onion, or slicing some onion. Oops. Alright, so we're going to be throwing in these onions into the pan. While that's warming up or heating up, I'm going to go ahead and pour some oil into this pan, or this pot. Just a little bit of oil, because we're going to be making some Spanish rice. Let me see. I'm going to set this down really fast. 1 second. Alright, so now in this pot, we're going to be adding about 4 handfuls, and they're really full, of rice. So there was 1. Oh, that was way too much. So there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, now with this rice, we're going to put it back in the... Okay, so we're going to turn that on as well. And we're going to fry the rice a little bit, brown it just a little bit. The pan is already ready. It's already heated up. So we're going to be adding our, our onions. And I think it was way too hot. So I'm going to set it aside really fast. And we're going to keep adding our onions. I'm going to go ahead and get a little spatula. Let me see where it's at. Here it is. So we're going to get a little spatula or ladle. We're going to stir constantly be stirring the rice. And I'm going to set the onions back in the fire. And we're going to go ahead and glaze them just a little bit, or fry them a little bit. Okay, we're going to be setting that there. We're going to keep stirring the rice. And the rice, you do have to be careful because it browns really, really fast. And obviously you don't want to burn it because it'll give it a sour taste to it. So we're going to let that simmer for a little bit and we'll be right back. Or not simmer, we're going to let it, whatever. We're going to let it cook a little bit and brown, and then we'll be right back. So as you can see, the rice is brown enough, and that's how I'm going to leave it because I always end up burning it. So if I keep it on longer, so we're going to leave it like this. I just like to constantly stir because it will burn on me. I'll burn it. I'll end up burning it, so I just like to remove it. So now we're going to stir the onion. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this. Let me see if I can see this. Let's do it this side. So for the water, let me see if I can show you. Okay, for the water, it's going to steam a little. And I usually like to add enough to where it reaches that little part of that little line of my finger. So we're going to go up to there. It is hot, so you have to be careful. It needs more water. And that is good enough. I usually like to put my thumb there so I can see where the line is at. Dip it in, and that's about where I want it to be. So we're going to go set it back in the fire. I'm going to turn it back on. Now everybody makes it different. My mom likes to make it using real chicken broth that she used from boiling chicken, but I just add water and add consomme. And this isn't the one that I usually get. I usually get this brand, and in tomatoes flavor, but they didn't have any, and I actually got that when we first were in quarantine, when they first told us that we were going to be going into quarantine, so I went out and bought some of that, and that's the only one they had, so I ended up getting it. It's not my favorite. It has a different taste, but I do have to use it, and I don't measure. I forgot to tell you guys, I should have measured, but I don't measure. I just add, and then I taste the water a little bit, and then I add more if needed. The onions are almost done as well. I'm going to be adding a little bit more of this, and I'm going to go ahead and taste it. I'll be right back. Okay, so the flavoring is good, so I'm going to go ahead and cover the pot and put it on low. Now I just need to finish with the onions. I'm going to go ahead and let that sit for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, as you guys can see, the onions are ready, or that's how I like them. You can brown them a little bit more, but that's going to be good enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and set them in this container to set aside, because in this pan we're going to be frying our chiles. For the chiles, we're going to be using, I get my cheese from Rellenos. You can get it from wherever you'd like. They do sell them at Walmart, but they come already packaged. But this is the cheese that I got this time. I usually get the brand Don Francisco, but I got this one this time because it was cheaper, so I ended up getting that. We are going to be using our chiles that we already toasted a little. And I am going to be using a spoon to get the seeds out. And also a knife. Just a really small knife. Okay, so we're going to be getting one of these out. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be peeling them first. Let me turn the light. Okay. So we're going to peel the skin off on all of them. And the reason why we do that is so the, because we're going to be blending some eggs to get, or batting some eggs, and we want the egg to stick to the, or have a place to stick to the chile, and if you don't take the skin off, it won't stick to it. And that's just because it has a really smooth surface, so that's why we ended up toasting it, so we would be able to take the skin off. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for the rest of the chiles, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you guys can see, I already peeled all of the peppers, and they're kind of all right there. Now, let me set this aside. So now to the peppers, we're going to go ahead and take the seeds out, devein them, because they can be too spicy. They're not really spicy, but you will get one or two that are once in a blue moon that are spicy. So we're going to take out the seeds out with a spoon. And using the same slit, we're going to be adding our cheese. Whoa. So I use the same bag that I used to put them in, so the steam can moisten them up. Now using that same Using that same bag, we're going to be placing our peppers, or the seeds in. So, we can dispose of the seeds and the skin. I put the skin in there as well. So now we're going to be getting pieces of our cheese and just stuffing them. Obviously, you don't want to overstuff them because they will tear. They are very, very, very delicate, so you have to be very, very careful. So take the seeds out once again. And I think I already tore it from the other side. So we're going to put our cheese in there. And I usually like to crumble it up a little bit. That way it's not just a little solid block there. Okay, so there is another one. We're going to set it aside. And we're going to do this for all the peppers, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you have your peppers peeled and stuffed with cheese, and also, well, de-seeded first and then stuffed with cheese, we're going to be using some flour. We are going to be needing some eggs, a little container or bowl, mixing bowl, and our blender. Our mixer. I'm also going to be using a small little container where I'm going to set the yolks because we don't need the yolks. I sometimes like to leave a little bit of it in just to give it a little bit of color. So we're going to be mixing the eggs first. So I'm going to crack it. And I washed my hands already, so then we're going to take out the egg whites and separate the yolk from the egg white. So we're going to go ahead and set the yolk in a little plastic container. And I usually use 4 eggs, and if I need more, I'll mix some more. Okay, so there is another egg. Set the yolk in the container. And we're going to be doing that for all 4 eggs. Whatever egg I have left over, I usually just cook separately. And that's just because my daughter doesn't like, and I just pop the yolk. Like I said, I usually like to add a little bit anyway, so. Whoa. Okay, I just made a big mess. Okay, so again, we're going to be doing the same thing. And again, I just popped the yolk. I'm making such a big mess. Okay, 1 second, okay? Okay, so now we have the egg whites separated. And again, I do have a little bit of the yolk in there, which is fine because I usually like to add a little bit anyway, just to give it a little bit of color. So we're going to go ahead and mix this. And we're going to mix it until it starts foaming.
You have to move quite rather quickly. Now I usually use my counter to add the flour, but today we're just going to go ahead and put it into the cutting board. So we're going to sprinkle some flour onto the cutting board or your counter, whatever you want to use. You don't need a lot. We do have the pan heating up over here. There's the pan heating up. Whoops. Now I did forget to show you guys the rice. The rice is done. And there it is. It's orange. I don't like to add vegetables. Sometimes I do. I either fry some onions and tomato along with the rice. Sometimes I don't. Today I didn't. So we're going to go ahead and hurry up and get this started. So we already stuffed the peppers. Now we're going to roll the pepper in the flour. Let me go. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to go ahead and dip the pepper into the egg and then set it in the pan. Okay, and we're going to repeat the same process again. So we're going to dip the pepper into the flour, or roll it in. Okay, then dip this into the, sorry, I keep going out of frame. Okay, so we're going to dip this into the, and I lost. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now we're going to pour this into the, or set this in the pan, and we're going to fry that a little bit from on each side. And I'm going to continue doing this for the rest of them, and I'll be right back. So now with this, you do have to be careful that it doesn't burn. And I usually, once it's, I heat up the pan. Obviously, I didn't heat it up enough. It needs to be hotter. But I'm going to turn up the flame just a little bit more so it can hurry or speed up the process. And we're going to toast it on one side and then do the other side. Still not done. And hopefully it doesn't stick. I didn't even notice if this pen sticks or not. Okay, so I'm going to rinse off my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's how it should look all over. So we're going to let the other side brown a little bit. And then we're going to be taking them right out, okay? And I'm going to repeat the same process for all of the peppers. I just have 3 more. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the peppers are already fried. Now in that same pan, there's like a little bit of juice from the peppers. We're going to go ahead and throw back our onions in there. We're going to put our onions in there again. And then this time we are going to be adding some tomato sauce to the pan. And we're going to let that sit in there for a little bit on high. I'm going to go ahead and toss this out 1 second, okay? Okay, so now to that same pan, we're going to be adding the tomato sauce, and we're also going to be adding the consomme. And you can use whichever one you like. I like to use this one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stir. Okay, so this is what the presentation looks like. Or I usually add more queso fresco on top, and then I eat it with a tortilla. You don't have to eat tortilla, but this is what it looks like in the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you have any more suggestions, or do you want me to try any more recipes, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys until next time. Bye!